And welcome, you're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. Today we're talking about the reform of state sales and in particular about the ProZorro.Sale project. From the moment when it started in October 2016, this project has ensured transparent sales of assets for over 8 billion hryvnia. Its initial goal was to create a transparent system of sales of assets owned by banks. But later, it evolved to cover other assets as well, such as property of state-owned enterprises, lease rights, advertising placement rights, municipal assets, and so on. To give us more details, we're joined in the studio today by Oleksiy Sobolev. He's Senior Project Manager of ProZorro.Sale. Hello, and thank you for coming.
Hi.
So I take it you are the author of the project and you've been running the pilot version of the ProZorro.Sale. What is it all about?
I'm the project leader for the project, and right now I'm the acting CEO of state enterprise ProZorro.Sale. So the enterprise was established just last week, and we're right now transferring the system from the non-government organization where it was developed to the state for free, so the state would administer it and further enhance and improve.
What do you mean by administrate?
Meaning that right now all the administration of the system, like the supervision of how the auctions are conducted, hosting of the system in the Amazon Web Cloud is done through non-governmental organization Transparency International Ukraine with the help of donor funds. So once the system is transferred to the government would take care of it, would finance it through commissions from sales that the system originates, and will develop it further.
Is there going to be a special committee for supervising the projects and the assets sold on the ProZorro.Sale?
So it will be a dedicated state-owned enterprise, which is called ProZorro.Sale, which will own the system, and this enterprise will have a independent supervisory board, which is not very common among state enterprises, but we will have one. So the statute of the enterprise has already been approved by the ministry, and I guess in September we'll have independent supervisory board that will supervise how the state enterprise works.
Who is going to be on that supervisory board?
We're going to have a competition, so it will be open competition. The government will be looking for 3 independent supervisory board directors. I guess the announcement would come in 1 or 2 months. Okay,
how are they going to be chosen? What are the qualifications?
The procedure is prescribed by the Cabinet of Ministers orders, so it is the same across all the state-owned enterprises. Right now, there are several competitions ongoing. One, for example, for Ukrainian railways. The other one is for Ukrenergo. We'll have the same. So, but all the candidates will be independent. So there will be professionals, highly skilled. Will have some experience on supervising like important enterprises.
Any chance that those professionals are now going to be Ukrainians, that they're going to be experts from abroad?
We hope so. So we're looking for expertise to further enhance the system and to find new partners across in other countries. Right now, for example, KPMG, which is in London, which is one of the big 4 accounting firms, has been connected to the platform. So it will, in a couple of months, it will start selling Ukrainian assets abroad in London. So we're looking for those who could provide this kind of experience.
But those are going to be state-owned assets, am I right?
Yeah.
And are we allowed to sell state-owned assets abroad?
Sure. No, there are no limits to who can participate in the auctions so far, and we already have several buyers for several tens of millions of hryvnias from abroad, and with completed successful transactions. So,
how's the auction system going to work? What's the algorithm?
Yeah, so how we are different from all the other auction systems is that the system is 2-tier. So one is the central database, which is will be administered by the government, where all the information has been kept, right? And then there are multitude of commercial platforms that show this information to the consumers. So right now we have almost 50 websites connected to the database that show this database on their websites. So if you want to buy something, you just type in Google like buy through ProZorro.Sale or go to your favorite platform. They are like Amazon-like platforms, and you will see the state assets there. So it gives this additional layer of publicity, right? And then once the auction has commenced, so you enter your bid, and then for a couple of hours there is a live auction where you try to outbid all the others. But once the auction has stopped and we have the final winner, all the information has been published. So you can see the names of the bidders, you can see the requisites, you can see the values of their bids, and then once the contract is signed, you can see the real contract there. So it allows for non-government actors, like for common citizens, to check that the person who bid the most got awarded the contract. So they can check the actual contract versus what's in the auction.
Speaking of common citizens, I'm guessing not everyone is qualified enough to participate in the auction. What are the terms?
It is really easy, but we also have like 50 platforms that help the consumers to understand the auction. So that's the why the system is successful, because it's not the government that describes how the auction works. The governments are less flexible, right? It's the 50 different businesses who compete among each other for bidders. So they compete on services, explaining how to win better, explaining on the strategies, how the system works, supervising the contract awarding process, like helping to deal with the government to a common citizen. So that two-tier structure allows to sell fast and a lot of government assets.
You've mentioned that there are auctions with bidders from abroad that could be evaluated up to 10 billion hryvnia. Any particular auction, any particular state-owned asset you would like to talk about?
We've done a lot of assets. So like our biggest deal just was completed this week. It's for 330 million hryvnias. We sold a non-performing loan of a failed bank, but then we also sold some real estate. For example, in Dnipro, which was it is like a theater or some cultural building. It wasn't in use since, I don't know, like the start of the 2000s. So right now it finally has an owner. So we're kind of solving many of those problems where the government doesn't have funds to look after its assets, and right now it has an owner after a like public auction where there were several bidders, whatever. We also do lease auctions. For example, for Ukrainian Post, all the leases from Ukrainian Post, they do through our system. And every second auction, the price increases by twofold, almost twofold.
Increases?
Increases, yeah.
Okay.
So we have one auction from Ivano-Frankivsk where Ukrainian Post was receiving 7,000 hryvnias a month, and during the auction the price went to 35,000 hryvnias a month. Like, I don't know how much, five times. But then the winner was the same person who was leasing that from the Ukrainian Post previously. So our system allows to show the real prices without any corruption there.
What about the project with renting carriages from Ukrzaliznytsia?
It is an ongoing project. We hope we will announce like the next phase that the project will finally start this month or next month. So Ukrainian Railways approached us and asked to develop an auction to make lease of rail cars for Ukrainian Railways, because they are sure that the tariffs that are set for them are like lower than the market value, but they don't know the market value. And they say, okay, we will try first with 5% of all the available rail cars to try to sell them through auctions. to sell the rights of using these rail cars for several days through auctions to get the market price, to get the data and to see how this market price is different from the tariffs that are set by some cabinet of ministers or Ukrainian Railways decree. And after that, they're going to decide on how to change those prices, or either to put on like 100% of these rail cars for sale through auctions.
How many state-owned enterprises in Ukraine are for sale now?
None so far. So this year, so far. So this year, the Parliament has adopted new law on privatization, and we're developing the system to accommodate this law. And once the Cabinet of Ministers will vote on like the bylaws to the law, we will start doing the small privatization instead. So far, the state property fund has approved 600 state-owned enterprises for sale.
That's a lot.
Yeah, there are around above 3,000 of state enterprises in this country. So we think that like 2,000 could be easily sold. And this year, like 600, we hope will be sold through us. But the law also incorporates municipal cities selling like municipal enterprises or municipal assets. So we expect around 400 or 500 items more to come from cities that will be sold this year.
What kind of a money turnover you're expecting ProZorro.Sale to have in 2018?
We're working for a year and a half, slightly above that. And we already sold for 8 billion hryvnias, and we hope to sell this year above 10 billion hryvnias.
So you're hoping for an increase?
Yeah, definitely. So the system, right now we're selling around 1 billion hryvnias a year. This is the biggest auction platform in the country so far. And just to give you a perspective, 8 billion hryvnias is much more than the 5 years of all the privatization in the country combined.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for shedding the light on your new project and coming here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This was Oleksiy Sobolev. He is a senior project manager for ProZorro.Sale. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned with UATV.